everyone, and welcome to another video. If this is the first time you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. Today we are doing a monthly predictions reading. I know if you follow my second channel, you know how almost crazy it has been for me. I don't know what word to use. Let me know what you think, but I have been struggling to produce monthly prediction readings on my second channel. I usually read for zodiacs over there when I can. I didn't even get to finish March predictions for Aries, Libra, and Cancer signs. I pretty much just did Capricorn and then had to do everything else in my life. I don't even know where to start with that, but I'm keen to bring this to the main channel because I know I can finish 3 groups. It's a lot easier than doing 12 zodiac signs. And I do want to offer these predictions in 2 different sections. So here on YouTube, we're going to have a look at what is happening in April for you. I'm going to be pulling a card from this oracle deck. This is the Animal Archetypes Oracle. For each group to have a look at what energy you're in, and then we're going to have a look at the key themes you are going to experience in April. We're going to have a look at specific predictions and advice. So this is all centered around what you can expect in April. For the extended reading, which will be on my website, we're going to have a look at what you can expect in love in April. We're going to get specific, and that will help support this channel if I'm real. If you want to watch the extended reading, be a part of the extended readings, the link is down below. So have a look at that. You don't have to buy it. You can just click the link and see if it's for you. Ultimately, you being here, sweets, is a wonderful way of supporting what I do. I'm very grateful for everyone and anybody who is able to watch these videos and be here and be a part of the community to help create a sense of community. I would encourage you to comment on somebody else's comment down below, check in with each other, ask each other how you are. I'm going to do my best on this video to do the same, but I notice that I do slip and I do miss very important comments and just your regular comments, which are equally as important. So let's just create a sense of community and check in on each other, send each other some love as we go through some crazy times in the world right now. With my little spiel out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these cards so we can have a look at what each group can expect in the month of April. As usual, I'm doing 3 groups: angels, ancestors, and spirit guides. Please tune me in to the collective, those that have selected this group. Please allow me to select cards for each of the groups so that they can understand what they're expecting in April. What is Group 1's energy in April? What card best describes Group 1's energy? You have Dragon, Group 1. It is reversed. In this deck, Dragon is a spirit card, but it is also connected to the root chakra. I'll correct myself in post if I need to. What card best describes Group 2's energy in April, Spirit? Group 2. Okay, we'll take that. We have the Moth for Group 2, which is air energy. If you feel drawn towards this card, you'll be a part of Group 2's reading. What card best describes? Thank you, Spirit. That was quick. For Group 3, we have water energy, which is Turtle. If you feel drawn towards this card, you'll be a part of Group 3's reading. Okay, so those are the 3 groups. Take your time. If you do want more time, you can pause the video. If you need more intuitive assistance, I'll play my meditation right after this, which was a guided meditation, and it's intended to help you intuitively select a group that you feel most drawn to. So I think that's it from me, sweets. Take your time. When you know which of these 3 groups you're feeling most drawn to, head to the description box below, click on your group's timestamp, and join me in your reading. To open your meditation, I'm going to ask you to take in 3 deep, mindful breaths. I want you to breathe in for 3 seconds and breathe out for 3 seconds. I will be guiding you through this. Make sure you're comfortable. Focus on the sound of my voice, and let's begin. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. Last breath. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. From this relaxed place, observe the groups in your mind. It can help if your eyes are closed. Is there a specific color you feel most drawn to right now? Perhaps it was a phrase I spoke about in the intro. Allow your relaxed mind to guide you to a group you are being most drawn to. Remember, your intuition is not a loud voice, but it is a strong voice, and it knows which of these groups contains the most honest messages for you. Allow it to guide you through symbols, colors, objects, and phrases that will connect you with the group that holds the most clear, honest messages for you. If you need more time, pause the video or repeat this meditation. Hi group 1, and welcome to your reading. It is so lovely to have you here. My heart just got so happy to have you here. I feel like some of you guys are very old friends of this channel and of me. I appreciate your energy, your support, and the fact that you are showing up for me in this very moment. To make the most out of this exchange, group 1, I'm going to suggest that you take some notes. You seem to be booked and busy lately, and there is a lot going on in the world, in your life. So do take some notes of what is resonating so that you can refer back to it throughout April. And I also just need your attention for a moment, if I can be so bold. I'm going to tune into your energy. This also involves me setting my intentions, grounding myself, and preparing for your reading. You can do the same by focusing on my voice. Try to limit any other distractions, and if you have any questions, intentions, or signs that you need to see or hear to claim this reading, think about them now. Angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, please tune me in to Group 1's energy. Please help me offer Group 1 clear, honest messages about their reading. And if there are any signs or informations that I failed to recognize, please allow it to come through clearly for Group 1 in this reading so that they can claim that confirmation and clarity. Thank you, Spirit. So the first thing that I'm getting is that we need to pull out the Boggle Box for you, because there are some key people in your life who will be significant this month, and their initials are likely to come out in the Boggle Box, which is exciting. Always love when I get to use different divination tools. With this dragon card reverse, before we do that, I want to talk about the fiery energy that I was feeling here. Now, sweets, I didn't have time to check if this is connected to your root chakra or your sacral chakra. I'm pretty sure it is your sacral chakra, because as far as I'm aware, the Phoenix card in this deck is actually the one that's connected to your root chakra. I do have the box here. I'm going to see if the booklet is in there as well. Give me a moment. Unfortunately, nada. So I'm going to have to go off my intuition, and I'm picking up on fiery energy with this card. With it being reversed, I think that your energy in April is mostly that of taking it slow. This is a month to try to ground yourself as much as you can and try to contain your energy as much as you can. I do think that April may pull on your boundaries a little bit, may test you a little bit. It seems to be a little bit busier, a little bit more social than March has been. And you'll need to decide just how social you want to be, Group 1. You'll need to decide just how available you want to be to other people and their plans. Really what I'm picking up on here is that you actually need to take it slow in April, but you are also wanting to do things for the people that you want to spend time with. So it's kind of that paradox energy that you see a lot in tarot, where there's this but there's that, and it almost goes hand in hand. It's like a reflection of the similar themes but being reflected in different ways. So what I'm seeing for you is that your energy is very precious in April. Truth be told, you don't have a lot of energy to give, and you are in a energy that requires rest more than anything. Usually, this fiery energy would be passionate, creative, inspiring. It's the kind of energy that other people enjoy being around because they get so much out of being in your presence. They feel positively affected by being around you, inspired by what you're going through, inspired by the things that you're putting your energy towards. In April, it's really important that you are aware of the fact that you can't do that for everybody. You really need to do it for yourself. So what I'm seeing with the Dragon card reversed is a strong push and pull against your capacity levels, energetically, emotionally. And it comes down to you at times feeling very frustrated and impulsive, right? Because you're a human being. You want to make the most out of life. You want to make the most out of your experiences. So in April, you're going to want to do things just because you can, just because things have been frustrating at the moment and you need to get out and live a little. But it's very hard to see that through because, truth be told, you don't have a lot to give. And if you push against your capacity levels, you're going to burn out. So I think it's very important in April that you focus on taking it easy, just doing little bursts of creative work and not putting too much pressure on yourself to perform or to inspire others. It's very important that you try to recharge your own stocks, and you may find that your creative energy is a little all over the place. It's not that you've lost your creative spark, but it may come to you sporadically throughout the month. So let's have a look at who is going to be most important this month. I'm going to shake this. It's quite loud. So if you're wearing headphones, consider taking them out or off for a moment. Okay. Oops. Okay, that's pretty good. So the initials that came through for you are... Okay, so we have OUETENNOYRTRCPVH. Lots of doubles. This is a double, this is a double, this is a double, this is a double. Yeah, that's a double. There's actually more doubles than anything in your set, which does happen. It's just very obvious because you've got them so close together as well. So what am I seeing? Am I seeing any words? I'm seeing sonnet. So some of you guys could be literary majors at university or college, or maybe you enjoy reading sonnets. I have a hard time with it, I'll be truthful. I find the structure of Shakespeare's sonnets to be easy to follow. I mean, it's just usually 4 lines, but I have trauma with Shakespeare. I don't know. Don't really enjoy it. The last thing I studied was As You Like It by Shakespeare, and that was last year. I loved my professor. I loved the ideas that how he'd structured the subject, but I could not connect. And I thought Is this really a comedy? Because there's some tragedy in there as well. So if you ever came across As You Like It, the play, I'm keen to hear what you think and who stood out for you the most. With that being said, I'm also seeing the number 10 and tenant. So that could be significant. Not seeing a lot of names, more words than anything. I'm also getting unique, which is interesting. Maybe you guys are needing to follow your own unique path in April, finding unique opportunities, focusing on your unique time and capacity, and trying not to compare yourself to other people and what they're going through. Is there anything else here? Prone. So this is something that you're prone towards. What you're feeling in April is something you go through. It's a cycle of regenerating your capacity levels, your creative flow, and also your patience. For some reason, it's very frustrating because this usually happens to you when you have a lot going on. But it's a sign that you need to slow down. You need to be patient with yourself more than anything. And remember that what is meant for you can't miss you. Just because you're not as vigorous or zealous as you usually are doesn't mean that you're going to miss out. So I'm going to leave the Boggle box there. Let's get some oracle cards out. I think I might use this deck. We'll stick to the Kim Krans decks just because they are on my table at the moment. Spirit for group 1. What can they expect in April? What can group 1 expect in April? Okay, we have the Mother. Wow. Number 1 is significant for you. So the 1st of April in the Northern Hemisphere is actually the new moon. And it'll be a new moon in Aries, so that could be significant. I think that's also when most of the planets go direct. So that could be significant for you, group 1, which makes sense. We also have Orphan, number 5. And can I get one more card? What can group 1 expect? So number 5 is significant. Now we have Eternal Child, which is number 4. So I see that April is a month of taking things back to basics. It's about going back to basics because you have new opportunities unfolding, and they may have started towards the end of March, but they become more obvious in April. In order for you to make the most out of your opportunities, which could be small, but for some of you they are bigger, we'll see what Tarot has to say, you do need to nurture yourself, almost smother yourself. The Mother card being here makes me think that it's very important. That's the first card that came out, group 1. It is very important that you nurture yourself, that you nest, that you recharge, that you focus on looking after yourself before, apologies, I just need to wipe my nose, before you commit to anything or anyone else. And this is also about wrapping yourself up in love, in warmth, in connection, surrounding yourself with the right people, and also just being very careful about who else you choose to interact with, because your energy is a bit precious. On this card, you can see that there's like some eggs here. They almost look like reptile eggs, and there's a pearl in the middle. There's a symbol of things being neatly, tightly wrapped. And if this card was reversed, I would read it as smothering. But it came out upright. You are very precious, and something precious to you needs to be protected, nurtured. It feels like it could be something that you're still working on, something in its early stages. And it's just about you and this just locking in, focusing on each other, and making it through April. Now, the early stages of this feels like an opportunity to understand less is more. Like it's really about just staying connected to what you need to do right now and saying no to anything that's too demanding, that's too much work or unnecessary effort right now. And you don't have to write it off forever, but it could just be that, that family dinner that you've been invited to is going to be loud. Maybe it's at a time where people are already at odds and you don't want to be there to witness all of these arguments. So you say, look, I'm going to stay at home. Me and my eggs are going to stay at home. But I'll see you at the next one. And then you can catch up with someone afterwards and hear about whatever happened, whatever you missed out on. That's the kind of vibes, is like you're very sensitive and you shouldn't be overextending yourself energetically, physically, etc. Now, with the mother next to the orphan, we're seeing this theme here of mother and children, right? Like there's a strong energy here of like that archetype of parenting, of advocating, of nurturing, of parental authority. And it's all playing out within you, in front of you, and for you in April. You're going to see with the orphan energy here what you need to have discipline against. Like this actually feels like you feeling like you're missing out on something, feeling like you're being left behind, feeling like people aren't showing up for you in the ways that you've showed up for them before. But you can also understand why, because you're not showing up for them right now. And so you're contending with some heavy feelings of being left out or left behind in a social setting because you can't overextend yourself the way that you usually do. People aren't really there for you, even though you've been there for them. And there is this awareness on a larger scale, like consciously you're aware of the fact that, you're not exactly being the most best friend right now. You're not exactly being the bestest daughter right now, or, child, or etc. However you're related to these people. But on a subconscious level, it is bothering you. And that's part of the theme here. That's part of the recurring theme, that you are in a position where you need to recharge, which ironically means limiting the amount of access your loved ones have to you because they don't always help you feel better for yourself. The best way to do that is to restrict, which is interesting. I think that it just means that you're a very sensitive person. And look, sacral chakra energy has a strong connection to feminine energy. It has a strong connection to the intuition. It's a different type of intuitive feeling, that's for sure. I think we can all agree that the third eye and crown chakras have a stronger association with the intuitive abilities we have. But as far as I'm concerned, sacral chakra energy is very intuitive feeling. It's about flowing with your nature, flowing with your instincts, and trying not to overthink the things that you feel drawn towards, the things you feel called to do. So this month, as you feel that push and pull in your social circle, you're feeling left behind, but you're also feeling like this is part of what that crazy lady on YouTube was telling me about. This is part of why I need to self-preserve and nurture right now, because I'm not going to get that from people who I usually give it to. Now, aside from being left behind, you are becoming more aware of this recurring cycle with your boundaries, with your social connections. You're becoming better at understanding why it happens, when it happens, and even how to help yourself through the process of it happening. So I feel confident that although this is usually a very isolating feeling, you're gonna be able to identify it early, and you're gonna be able to support yourself through that feeling. It's not going to hit you like a ton of bricks. it's going to be a little bit of an icy tap on the cheek, and you're like, oh, that's what's happening. Okay, I understand. So it's here because it's a main theme, it's a recurring theme, but I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as something that you're getting better at identifying. With the eternal child here, we go from a 1 to a 5 to a 4, and the 4 is reversed. This further confirms that April, being the 4th month of the calendar year, is actually quite an unstable month for you. You're building, but it's about rebuilding, not building off of a strong foundation, building off of a new opportunity into a stronger foundation. This is about rebuilding, restructuring, and reprioritizing with your best interests being at the forefront of the operation. So this is about prioritizing what is best for you, not in a selfish way, but when it comes down to what you need right now in your life. April is the month to get those priorities straight again and to try to peel back some of those complicated layers and just focus on the basics. Maslow's pyramid could be helpful for you. Maslow's pyramid talks about our hierarchy of needs. I feel like you may resonate with that, and the structure of it shows safety and security at the bottom, and then at the top is self-efficacy, and there's about 5 layers if I'm remembering correctly. So 5 layers to the pyramid. The idea is if we start from the bottom of the pyramid, addressing our safety, our security, we can work our way up to feeling confident, feeling well equipped, prepared. And even if we're in a situation where we don't know what's happening, we're going to handle it to the best of our ability with an optimistic mind and with an open, I can do this attitude. So that may be helpful to refer back to, and just like reminding yourself, of course, I'm not feeling great. Look at me. I have to start from the bottom right now. I have to build myself up right now. I have to focus on my bare needs right now. Now, the only other thing with the eternal child reversed is April is a month of ups and downs emotionally, mentally. And if you have ovaries, you may notice your moods really swing with the new moon and the full moon. And I want you to pay attention to the moon cycle because it is affecting how you feel about yourself. It's also affecting how you feel about your loved ones. I want you to tell yourself, is this really how I feel? Or is this a subconscious belief being purged by the moon cycle? And that's not to invalidate. If you feel like, yeah, this is the moon making me address my deep-rooted feelings and fears right now, write it down, tell yourself, what is this trying to tell me? And I acknowledge that this feeling will pass. Because I do think that for some of you, these mood swings will feel very important at the time, but within the week, they're pretty much gone the other way, and you're going to feel more confident and happy again. So I think that it's a good opportunity to journal and take notes, as you have been so far. I'm just checking in. Have you been taking notes so far? And then as the month progresses, you're going to start to feel more, not even like yourself again. You're going to start to feel more yourself than you have been recently, like for months now. April is trying to help you rebuild into a stronger, more capable and confident version of yourself who is ready to create, expand, and conquer the rest of 2026's opportunities. So let's push those up here and let's get some tarot out. I'm going to use my Hermetic Tarot deck. Spirit, can we get some specific predictions for, okay. Can we get some specific predictions for group 1? What are some specific predictions for group 1, please, Spirit? Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles. Virgo is significant here, and the Sun is back again. We get some specific predictions. We also have the Princess of Pentacles. One more card. Some specific predictions for group 1. Please, Spirit. Similar to your message, I'm basically reading, going back to basics here, one card at a time. 4 of Swords. At the back of this tarot deck is the 5 of Swords. Let's put it over here. It's still with us, but it's not taking up all the space. How do I feel about this for you? Can we clarify these cards, please, Spirit? Interesting. We'll start over here. I think something that could be happening specifically in April is you trying to minimize the amount of, I want to say, plans you have, but you're also trying to make yourself more available to invest in your future. So with the 8 of Pentacles reversed, there is a feeling here of being self-critical, of evaluating your processes, and of trying to figure out, how to better spend your time, your energy, your money, so that you're not wasting your resources anymore. This could even look like you trying to change jobs, trying to make changes to your career, to your business, trying to restructure the commitments in your life that you've already made so that they work better. When I see an 8 of Pentacles reversed, I think of someone who's working smarter, not harder right now. And it could mean that you are being critical and analyzing things and pulling things apart and talking about, this isn't really working, or can you be a bit more flexible? What if I do this instead? Can I have a part-time position? Can I do this full-time? Could I please take some time off to do this? Or if you work for yourself, this could be you looking at what in your business or the services you provide doesn't quite meet your needs, whether it's because it's taking too much of your time or because it's not sustaining your lifestyle. Virgo and the Sun, there's a lot of being self-critical here and trying to bring your needs back into the drawing board because you've gotten a bit too used to just doing the same thing different day. April is about going back to your needs and trying to figure out, well, how do I make this fit me? And this could even be about, calling up an institution who you have a loan to and recognizing that, look, I know this payment comes out monthly on this date, but I don't get paid on that date. Can we switch the date so that it's more reasonable, so that I'm not going into default or whatever it is? Just trying to come up with creative solutions to any issues that aren't working in your best interest when it comes to money, when it comes to time, when it comes to effort. Over here, the Princess of Pentacles also has the 8th house and Scorpio. As a card, the Princess of Pentacles is suggesting that April is about being a student again, having an open, curious mind, being willing to learn and to relearn with the intention of improving, of working on things that aren't working to the best of their ability right now. Now, this is primarily affecting your lifestyle, your practical needs. It is also impacting your relationships. And it's just that time again, like we all go through this. It's that time again where you need to look at your life, look at your responsibilities and go, what am I doing to the best of my abilities? Now, I want to say that April is a great month to either start studying or to open yourself up to growth, to professional development that also leads to life experience. Now, when I look at the Page of Pentacles, I think of an intern or an apprentice, someone who is learning, who is starting at a lower sort of rank professionally with the intention of being the boss one day, with the intention of running the place, having autonomy, having independence, having leadership skills, having life experience. So this month is about taking it all in without expecting yourself to be an expert straight away. This is a great month for learning, asking questions, and working on things that aren't working. Does that make sense? I do think with the 8th house here, you will need to have a little bit of courage to do this. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You may need to overcome self-doubt, personal fears, and you may need to address some of these internal doubts that we all have about ourselves, but it could feel a little bit scary. It could feel like, geez, I'm a small fish in a big pond right now. So go into those situations knowing that you are learning. You deserve to be where you are, and there is nothing wrong with you being there. I actually feel like it's important that you call on your ancestors in those moments. I'm an ancestral worker. I like channeling my ancestors. I've gotten to know them over the years and who functions best for me. I have some ancestors that are too confrontational. They do not help in those situations because they would just make me want to fight everybody. But then you have your ancestors who are calming, who are grounding, who are healers, who could help you feel a certain way. So call on those. Say, I need the healers of my ancestors to stand with me right now, to help me feel strong, to help me feel confident, and to help me have courage to be in this room right now and to ask the right questions right now. This is a powerful month for personal and professional development. You're going to learn a lot more about yourself and about how to help yourself on the right track towards physical success, money success. I feel like this is mostly about money, but it is going to give you good people skills that helps you make money in the future, if that makes sense. Lastly, with the 4 of Swords here, the number 4 is significant again. The 4 of... I just moved it. Do we remember what it was? I just moved it and I have no idea what it was. That is terrible. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to pause it and go back. Okay, I'm back. I just saw that it was Saturn. So that's good. I don't know why I moved it. Anyway, we live and we learn. Literally, we live and we learn. So with Saturn and the 4 of Swords, what's happening over here is this strong feeling of lessons being learned. And there's a bigger picture lesson happening. So April is a part of that bigger picture, that bigger lesson. You've already made sacrifices. You've already had shown displays of discipline. You already have committed yourself to things. This is the refinement part of that lesson. This is the refinement part of that bigger picture test where you are refining yourself, refining how much time, effort, and money you put towards things, and showing yourself more than anything that you've got this, that you can handle this. And an important part of working hard is knowing when to rest. So this month's main theme for you is rest, active rest, ensuring that you are switching off mentally, ensuring that you're letting your nervous system reboot, making sure that you're replenishing and fueling your body correctly, helpfully, and making sure that you are prioritizing time to do nothing, time to just, again, rest, recharge. This is all important because with the 5 of Swords at the back of the deck, this is about continuing a lesson that you've been practicing. You already learned the lesson years ago, but you've been practicing how to show up for yourself better so that you can show up for the people that you love. How to prioritize yourself better so that you're not resenting other people for having that opportunity. And how to show up for yourself better so that you aren't looking at whether the grass is greener on the other side. By catering to your own needs, you have the mental, emotional, energetic capacity to focus on other things, to witness opportunities and to claim blessings. This comes back to that hierarchy of needs pyramid. And when you have those needs met on a lower level, you're able to achieve more for yourself. So this is a big and powerful month to refine the path that you're already on, to work on the opportunities that are unfolding, and to be aware of how the moon may be affecting the way that you feel about yourself and the people that you care about. This is also a month to see yourself as a student who is constantly learning, constantly developing. Ask questions, research, get advice, and just treat yourself with a bit of compassion and grace for the fact that you are learning. So that is what I'm seeing for you, my group 1. So I'm going to leave it there. We didn't get a card for advice, but we did get advice along the way. So I hope that that was helpful. We're going to go into the extended reading and we're going to have a look at what is happening in love for you in April. So pretty much the same way, the same thing. We're going to have a look at what is happening in love by looking at your energy in love, by getting main themes and then predictions in love as well. We will also have a look at who is significant in love with the Boggle box, seeing if we can pull some initials. If you would like those messages and if you want to read more about what you can expect in your extended reading, the link is down below. That will take you to a page on my website where I host all my extended readings. So just make sure that when you click on that link, you are selecting the right group. You can have a look at a little preview and just make sure it says group 1. If you don't see your reading straight away, consider refreshing the page or opening it in a different browser, because my website is constantly updating. Some devices store the old data and don't renew the data with the updates. So you may need to clear your cake or your cookies or just open it in a different browser. With that being said, thank you so much, Group 1, for all of your time here on YouTube, for all of your energy and for all of your support. I appreciate you for tuning in and letting me be a part of your journey. Until we meet again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye. Hi, my Group 2s, and welcome to your reading. If you recognize this moth card, then you're in the right place. We're asking Spirit, what is happening for you in April? Now, this is going to be a 2-part reading. The second part, or the extended reading, will be on my website. If you want to know what you can expect here on YouTube or in the extendeds, check the description down below. Sweet souls, I'm pretty keen to get into your reading. I got some messages when I shuffled this card, so I do already have a little bit of a feeling of what we're in for. But before we do jump ahead, I do need to open your reading properly. I'm going to set my intentions and ground myself in your energy. While I do that, it is also recommended that you do the same. Think about what drew you to this reading. Are there any intentions you would like to set? Also think about any questions you have about April, about your life, about love. And if you do have any signs that you need to see or hear to confirm that this reading is for you. Goodness, I'm really clearing energy. Whew. Think about those signs now as well. Oh my gosh. Let's get into it. Angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, please tune me in to Group 2's energy. Please help me offer Group 2 clear, honest messages about their reading. And if there is any information I fail to recognize, please allow it to come through clearly so that Group 2 can claim those messages. Okay, sweet souls, let's talk about your card. Now, in the intro / pick a group portion, I did shuffle this card with the intention of trying to connect it to your energy in April. What it tells me is that the month ahead for you is about trying to focus on the light. And for me, light represents clarity. It represents information, and it in many instances represents the truth. As you emerge from the darkness, which could have been resemblant of like a period in your life that felt very confusing, very heavy or oppressive, or even just a period in your life that made you feel stuck and limited. April is about transitioning out of that and holding on to your truth as you do so, seeking information and clarity as you do so. The moth tells me that you've been through a metamorphosis period, and that form of transforming seemed to happen in the dark, seemed to happen in a way where not everybody got to see what you were going through. Not everybody was there to help you, to support you. And group 2, not a lot of people actually know what you've been through, what you've struggled through. This dark period also represents the lack of knowing that you had. So even if you did feel adequately supported, it felt like you didn't have all the information while you were transforming, while things were ending and beginning and changing. It felt like you were in the dark. April feels like it has a lighter energy to it, but it also feels like it's light because it represents your truth. It represents you feeling more prepared because of what you've been through. And although you may start April feeling like you're still coming out of a dark period, there is this mindset shift that happens, which allows you to almost like snap yourself out of it. Instead of feeling oppressed, stuck, limited, restricted, you're telling yourself, I'm just going to focus on what I know. I'm just going to focus on what I can. I'm just going to choose what to focus on. Now, I do feel like April is revealing more to you as well. I think that you're coming out of the darkness because some powerful information is coming your way. And I'm hearing communication. So for some of you, this is about powerful communication coming your way. But the overall point of this is that it happens to give you more awareness of how to move your life forward rather than feeling stuck, trapped, limited, held back. I'm going to do what I did for group 1. We're going to get initials from the Boggle box. As I shake this, sweets, it's loud. I just need to give you that heads up. If you're wearing headphones, feel free to take them off or mute them for a second while I shake this up. Spirit, what initials can we get about the people who are significant to group 2 in April? Okay, that was quick. Wow. That was actually way quicker than group 1. So we have UYRAPZENBTSSEDHW. What are we looking at here, Spirit? I just got to wipe my nose. Every time I channel, my nose plays up. And my eye. I shouldn't laugh. It's actually a serious thing. But if I don't laugh, I'm just going to think about it too much, so big mood. Now, aside from these being initials, I like to just look at words that I can find in the letters. So if you're seeing any initials of people who you already know, remember that, consider taking notes and write that down. And if there are any initials that feel lost, like you're like, this feels like an initial, that feels like an initial, this feels like an initial, but you don't know who it is yet, I also encourage you to write notes and just write it down so you can refer back to it. I'm noticing crazy themes for you of clarity because we can see better. We're seeing clearly in April. There's also this feeling here of yet. So even though you're seeing clearly in April, some of these actions, based off of what you know, can't happen yet. They have to happen later. But now that you know, you can put a plan in place and figure out when to act. I'm also seeing ran. So for some of you, you're figuring out why somebody ran away from you, from a situation. Ran. I'm also seeing yen. So for some of you, there's a trip to Japan coming up. Or somebody is from Japan. And ren as the name. Rent. What's going on with the rent at the moment? Did you pay your rent today, maybe? What else? Bets. I'm hearing all bets are off. What does that mean? All bets are off. Somebody a bit of a gambler? Or is this representing a situation where things have changed that they can't place bets anymore? It's a major surprise, a major turning point. What? Yeah, I'm seeing what? Why? When? Where? The only thing missing is who and how. But technically you could say how. What else? I'm seeing states like Tennessee, also Tennessee whiskey. Is that Jack Daniels, Tennessee whiskey? I think Jack Daniels is actually a Scotch that's imported to Tennessee whiskey. But anyway, anywho, what else? Ant. Somebody's feeling very small. Ant. And Bay. So some people are Beyonce lovers. What else? Punk. Don't have a K though. I'm also seeing punt, like more betting. What is the Z about? Zeal, having the zeal. Ooh, I just got shivers. Okay, that's all I'm really seeing. So we're going to move forward and get some themes for you now. I'm going to use the other Kim Krans Oracle deck that I have out here. Oops. Spirit, for my group twos. What can you tell group two, Spirit, about their April month? What key themes can they expect in April? Wow, we have the vision, and it is the number 55. What key themes? Thank you, Spirit. We have the healer, which is the number 25. And we also have the village, which is the number 41. At the back of the deck, for now, we have Alethea. Wow. Which means seeing something for what it is. Crazy. I'm going to put it there because I feel like it does connect in some way. So we'll make sure it's within view. I'm just going to have a sip of my second coffee for the day. So I feel like these numbers are significant, which is why I read them out. Alethea or Alethea is the number 77. It's like the awakening moment, like seeing something for what it truly is. And it's the juxtaposition as well. So seeing the different sides of the same situation seems to be a big theme here in April. You get the chance to see a different side, a different truth, a different perspective of the same situation. And you're seeing different sides of a person this month as well. I would say it's not changing the way you see them, but it is changing the way you see people, life. With vision reversed, this is a powerful month to redirect your focus. You guys are changing a long-term goal this month. Instead of focusing towards one thing, you're either shifting your view, your vision, to look at another long-term goal, or you're actually going back to that long-term goal and reshaping it. Trying to figure out how you actually want it to be, what you want it to look like, how it should progress. It's vision for a reason, Spirit's saying. These are the early stages of creation. Not a lot of actions being taken, but the ideas are being formulated, the plans are being made. And I'm hearing that this is about the transformations you've been through, the changes you've been through recently. Changing your vision is a reflection of the changes you've been through. The vision has to match who you are now. The long-term goals, long-term plans, the way you see success in life has to match what you've been through and who you are today. Not who you were before, but who you are now. I'm also hearing that song, I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. So for some of you, this is about feeling like you have the right perspective, feeling like you have the right frame of mind, and you're in the right place in your life to make this happen. I see this healer theme as a chance to see what you've been through from a different perspective. It feels somewhat fresh though, like you're still going through it or you've just come out of it in April, but you still get to retrospect and look back and go, wow, I can already appreciate a different perspective now. I can already see things from a different angle, different perspective, and I can already, I want to say appreciate, but it's not that you weren't grateful, it's just that you had to get through it. Like there wasn't a lack of gratitude, there was just no capacity to see it for what it was. You just had to crisis mode, do it. So in April, there is this appreciation for how it fits into your new vision. With that being said, the healer reverse could indicate that a length of healing seems to be drawn out into April, whether that's a physical healing, an emotional healing, or like a mental healing. And for some of you, this represents cutting the cord on an old lifestyle, an old relationship, an old pattern of behaviors, because it's being prolonged. So you need to look at what else you can do to help yourself transition through that healing. And it's for the sake of peace and feeling better. It's not that you're doing something wrong, it's just that you do need to do something to help yourself finish this healing chapter, which is interesting because I'm a huge advocate of the phrase healing is non-linear. When we look at emotional healing, that is non-linear. It can re-trigger, it can resurface. Grief is something you learn to live with. You don't overcome it, you learn to live with it. So this is interesting. This is the type of healing that Spirit's saying, if you can just make practical changes, practical choices, you've got a better chance of healing it. So it has to be something physical, or it's something that's being prolonged because you're enabling it to prolong. So we'll talk about that more with tarot and get a bit more specific, but the number 25 as an age, a date, or any number could be significant to that. With the Village card here, this theme is about your community, the people around you who support you, who can be there for you, and who you are equally supportive of and present for. So when this card in this position, I feel like April is about either bringing new people into the village or assessing who is in the village, and should some people have less access to us even though they're in our village. Your extended connections, your associates, your extended family, your extended friends are being questioned here. And you may need to restructure your life so that they have less or more access to you, depending on the nature of those connections. And it could be a case of like, look, they didn't do anything wrong to us, but we're in a period of transformation. And in order to focus on our long-term vision, in order to heal appropriately, we've got to be more aware and mindful of what type of people have access to us and why. So some real truths, hard truths coming out this month. And it's all about juxtaposition. Spirit's almost hinting that if this was to happen by itself, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it's the fact that this is all happening now after you've been through your dark period. And that's what makes it all more important. That's what makes it a key theme and worth looking at. Because you're in the business of evolution, transformation. So what needs to change with you? Let's get some tarot out now to have a better look. I'm going to use the Homedic Tarot deck here. Spirit for group 2. Can you clarify this vision energy? What is happening for group 2 in April? What is this vision energy about? Okay, we'll take it. We have the Six of Pentacles reversed, and we have the Knight of Wands. So here we're seeing some Sagittarius and Scorpio. And over here we are seeing more, I want to say Virgo, but this deck says Taurus and the Moon. Interesting. We'll go with the deck because that's why we chose it. Clarify the Healer card, please, Spirit. Clarify that, thank you. Oh, we have the Lovers card. Clarify the Village. We have the Ten of Pentacles. And at the back of this deck is the Knight of Pentacles. So you have a lot of Pentacles. I am a very earth sign dominant person. So I do get a lot of earth sign cards. But this is quite crazy. This is a lot of earth signs. So look, these signs could be significant. Taurus, we're seeing Virgo, and we're seeing not really Capricorn yet. But I will say Capricorn just because to me, some of these ideas of looking to the future and trying to plan ahead. Yes, Virgo, but also Capricorn. Another strong sign that's coming through is Gemini, right here in the Lovers card. And we also have planets. We have the Moon. We have Mercury. We have some Jupiter. We have Mercury again. And we have, Knight of Pentacles is more North Node energy. So let's talk about your bottom deck energy. This is where we get specific predictions for you, group 2. In April, I'm seeing you being very plan-orientated, goal-orientated. Slow and steady is the main theme here. You're going to be working on making sure that every aspect of your life that matters is moving in the right direction. Now, health is a priority this month. Health is very important. Looking after your body, looking after your health, and making sure that if you have a loved one who isn't feeling well, they're taken care of is all important in April. But the Knight of Pentacles also resembles moving forward and making long-term progress, I should say, through intentional actions. This isn't about racing ahead. This is about quality of action. Making sure that every action you do take is an action in the right direction. And all those important aspects of your life in terms of the important relationships, the important values, your health, your career or your sense of purpose, it's all being given an equal amount of time or an appropriate amount of time and effort from you this month. So I want you to see the Knight of Pentacles as a prediction that you're going to be thinking about your future. You're going to be taking intentional actions towards the future you want, and you're going to be investing in yourself and your future with the mindset of progress, moving forward, evolution, all of those things. With the Vision card, a specific prediction is that you're restructuring the way you see your future because you need to recover from how things fell through recently. You need to still find a way to recover. The truth is, things can't be the way that they were. Yes, you've transformed into a different person because of what happened, but we also have to realize that what happened in a way that has changed your future. So now you do need to rethink your life. You need to rethink the way that you take care of yourself, the way that you invest in other people. You need to rethink what this situation has told you about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And you need to start to think about how you want to move forward. I firmly believe with the Knight of Wands reverse that April isn't the month to make it all happen. This is about planning, coming up with ideas and exploring those ideas. But we are learning from our mistakes here. We are learning from what didn't work out. And you're also learning from other people's mistakes. You're learning from their failed plans, from their impulsive decisions, and from their explosive setbacks. Now, this is about being realistic. And in fact, you may need to put a temporary plan in place until you can actually think more long term, until you can actually take action towards the things that you want to. With this Knight of Wands here, it looks like you're going to need to come up with some sort of way to satisfy your needs, your desires now, while things are still developing. And I think you're settling some debts here in April. The Six of Pentacles indicates that this was a mistake. This was either a debt you shouldn't have taken on, or it was a debt that should have been paid off sooner. But you're going to be settling it, and as you do, you're learning from that experience. You're realizing that this is changing the way that you give and receive energy, time, money, those important resources. This is changing the way that you structure your commitments, your relationships, your priorities. And this is changing the way that you choose to invest and spend. So April is a month where you kind of are restructuring some of the practical areas of your life because of the lessons, the experiences, the mistakes from you and what you've witnessed in other people. Now, I think as a specific prediction, some of you guys will be canceling a trip that you were supposed to take in April. And this could be about making sure that you're either being safe and not going into a dangerous place, or this is about being practical and saving the money to spend it towards other things. But with the Knight of Wands here, the whole point of this is to make sure that you're not pushing yourself to uncharted territory, to where the stakes are too high, the risk is too high, the experience is probably not positive, it's just point blank risky. And what we're seeing here with the Knight of Wands reversed is that the lack of action is not a punishment. I just want you to remember that. If you are taking notes, write that down. The lack of action in my life in April is not a punishment towards me. It's a case of protection. It's a case of keeping that energy so that a bigger blessing can come your way. And that's what's happening here. Anything that doesn't progress is being stored so that it can be multiplied as a blessing, multiplied in the future. So those are some of the specific predictions that I'm seeing over here with the Vision card. Now there's also this feeling of making things worth it right now, addressing your needs. Some of you are getting a new animal, or you're going to find a way to address your needs for connection, for intimacy, for comfort. And this is about finding a way to look after yourself now, because you can't get what you want. So you're going to find something else right now to help you and to get you through this until your long-term plan can happen. This could also be about splurging and spending money on clothes or on things that complement your appearance, that make you feel comfortable or confident in your skin. Skincare, hair care, and clothes. And for others of you, because Taurus is here, this is about splurging out on food and trying to create that luxury experience in your home because you can't go out and claim it as you wanted to on your trip, if that resonates. So the Lover's card with the Healer, I did feel like communication was important, and now I'm seeing that it's important because you guys are trying to find a way to clarify the information you have this month. In April, yes, somebody's communication is important. As they reach out to you, you're learning things that really helps put perspective, that really helps you feel enlightened. But it's also making things obvious in a way that could stir up some old feelings. It's important that you see this as enlightenment, as the chance to hear the truth, see the truth, and do something about it for yourself. I see this card in this deck as the voice of divine. This is like Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel, coming to you from Source and telling you the truth. Even if it is a friend, a family member, a colleague, a professional reaching out to you, see them as the messenger of truth, delivering you information that you can use to help you heal and move forward. And there's something about the truth here that feels uncomfortable because it seems to be holding a mirror up to yourself or to somebody you deeply respect and love. And it's making you see them for who they truly are and for seeing yourself for who you truly are. But it is powerful and it is helpful. What we're seeing over here with the Ten of Pentacles is that this conversation, this communication is like a chain reaction that you take back to your village of loved ones, supporters, acquaintances, extended family, etc. You take it back to your village of people in your life and you reaffirm your values, your long-term goals. It really makes you appreciate the people who are important to you. It makes you appreciate your culture, your cultural practices. It makes you appreciate some experiences you've been through by yourself and with these people. It puts that into perspective. And if anybody isn't a Ten of Pentacles ride or die, it does make it obvious. But again, you don't have to do something about it. You just have to focus more on the people who are the Ten of Pentacles in your life, who form an important part of your pillared community. So this month holds strong themes of family, and a specific prediction that I'm seeing is that you're going to see somebody you love and respect, like a family member who's older than you, for who they are. And I feel like this is looking at them as, wow, like you are so loyal, you are so loving, you have so much integrity and strength. You're not perfect, no one is, but I'm very proud of you. And I want to take on those qualities too. That's what makes us family. We all share that value for integrity. We share that value for honesty. We share that value for humanity and being a good person. Whatever it is you seeing this and hearing about this makes you more proud of your community, makes you more connected to your community. And it's coming through as like a Capricorn way or a Sagittarius way of feeling loyal and proud and protective. Is there anything else here in terms of specific predictions? So there is communication here as well with Mercury. However, Mercury, aside from being a messenger, is also the processor of information. So I feel like, yes, you're receiving information, but this reflects you processing it into your long-term plan, into your Knight of Pentacles energy of how do I move forward? Where do I set my intentions? What areas of my life am I working on right now? April seems to be about slowly but carefully, intentional action, long-term plans, holding on to your truth, witnessing enlightenment within you and about others, and fortifying your values, your village. Trying not to take cancellations and false starts personally, paying off debts so that you can recalibrate your vision for the long term, for the future, and just having a more defined future that reflects who you are now, not who you were, but who you are now. That's what I'm seeing for you, group 2 in April. I hope that was helpful. Sorry for playing with my tissue in front of the microphone. I'm going to take this into the extended reading where we will have a look at what is happening in love for you in April. It'll be a similar format. If you want to know more about what to expect, there is information in the description box, or you can click on the extended reading link, click on your group on that link, and read the description on that video. You should be able to see that before you even purchase it. With that being said, if you don't see your group or the readings, you may need to open the link in a different browser or refresh the page by clearing your cake or your cookies. I am constantly updating that page and my website in general, and most devices don't show those updates. They just kind of go off of the stored data, which is why clearing the cake or the cookies could help. Feels so silly to recommend that. But anyway, if you're not able to join me in the extended readings, I do just want to thank you for all of your time, your energy, and your support right here on YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me do what I do by being here and showing up for me. I hope I was able to give you the information you need for the month ahead and hopefully some information you wanted. Until we meet again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye! Hi group 3s, and welcome to your reading. If you recognize the turtle card, you're in the right place. Group 3, this is going to be a monthly predictions reading. We're going to have a look at what you can expect in the month of April. So we got a lot to cover here on YouTube, and there is also going to be an extended reading. If you want to know more about what you can expect in these readings, check the description box below. I'm going to take a moment now to tune into your energy and to set my intentions and to ground myself. All those things that I need to do before I start divinating messages for you. While I do that, I encourage you to listen to my voice. Try to limit other distractions. If you have any questions, think about those. If you have any signs that you need to see or hear to confirm that this reading is for you, think about those as well. And if you have your own intentions, set those as I set mine. Angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, please tune me in to Group 3's energy. Please help me offer Group 3 clear, honest messages about their reading. And if there is anything I fail to recognize in this reading, Please allow it to come through clearly for group number 3. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. What do we want to say to you first? I do want to talk about this card. I think it found you group 3 because it's about coming out of your shell. April with the turtle is a balance of trusting your feelings while also releasing your fears. This is an interesting month. It seems to test your intuition, may even test your emotions a little bit, but the whole point is to encourage the right kind of experiences this month, and you're not going to be able to experience them unless you step out of your shell a little bit. With this card reversed, I think your emotions and your feelings really matter this month. They have a very strong influence on your decisions, on your thoughts, and on what you choose to do with your free will this month. I think for that reason you should pay attention to the moon cycles and how they may impact or influence your moods as well. At the beginning of the month, we are going to experience a new moon in, I believe it's Aries. Yeah, the first new moon in Aries, well, the only new moon in Aries. And halfway through the month will be the full moon in, what is the 6th sign, Virgo? Or is it the 7th sign already, Libra? I think we're in Libra already, which is wild. So those are all things to pay attention to. Lots of cardinal energy this month as well. This kind of energy seems to be affecting you because it's encouraging you to be more assertive, but to also be less defensive, so that things can actually happen for you rather than to you. You may find that things are encouraging you to take the easier route. Instead of being defensive and shutting down or pushing things away, it's much more beneficial to go with the flow, to say yes, and to be open and receptive this month. But let's see how that plays out with your theme. So I'm going to shuffle an oracle deck, and we'll get some key themes out here. Before I do that, I did this for group 1 and 2, so I'll do it for you as well. I'm going to rattle this boggle box to get different letters that will serve as initials. So these initials will be for the people who are most significant to you this month. And I also like to pull words out of the boggle box, just another way of getting divination information. So this can be loud. If you've got headphones on, I encourage you to either turn your volume down or just take them off for now. And let's see. Group 3, please, Spirit. Who is most important or influential in Group 3's life in April? Okay, that was pretty quick. Let me just take that off. Okay. We have lots of repeats here. We've got lots of E's, lots of A's. So look, that could be significant. For me, when I see duplicate letters, I take it as a sign that somebody's name, first or last, has duplicate letters in it. So my name, Lorraine, has 2 R's. And I also have been using the example of Laura, how there's 2 A's in Laura. So that could be significant. But we have SUDKTCE, PEAH, E again, A again, T. So lots of doubles, really. Lots of A's, lots of E's, 2 T's as well. I'm seeing syndicate. So somebody could be playing the lottery this month or this week, however it's done. But syndicate is important for some reason. I'm also seeing eat, 8, which makes me think of like clock it, you know. Cake. Eat your cake. What the heck? What is this about? Suds, somebody's doing a spring clean, or it could be an autumn clean. In the southern hemisphere, it's definitely a spring clean. Suds, Trying to rinse something and repeat it. Why are we rinsing and repeating this month, group 3? Because it worked. It's creating happiness. A practice you've been doing for your mental health has been working. So rinse and repeat in April. This was something you put in place during Pisces season or Aquarius season, and it's working. So you're going to keep it going in this new energetic year. Aries energy is trying to help you strengthen the practices that have been working, but it's also trying to help you be more open to new experiences. Tactful. Someone's trying to have a conversation with you this month about something either serious or important, but they need to be tactful. What else are we working with here? What is that about? Hate. Some strong emotions this month. Hate. I don't know if you'll be hating anything, but to me, that's one of my signs that this is a very strong emotion that you're experiencing. What else do we have here? Teeth. Might need to look after your teeth this month, maybe book a dentist appointment, or just be mindful of foods that can trigger sensitivities within your teeth and gums. Sugar, for example, fizzy drinks, that kind of stuff. Have your cake and eat it too. What is this about? I think we got to move forward so we can get an understanding of what that means. Have your cake and eat it too. It sounds really like offensive. Like it's not like a chill thing. It's like someone saying, okay, group 3, have your cake and eat it too. What is going on? We'll see what happens if it comes out again. If not, I might just have to clarify it. Gotta remember. Okay, Spirit. What can group 3 expect in April? What can group 3... Oh, that was quick. We have the Mystic, which is the number 21. Interesting. What else can they expect this month in April, Spirit? Group 3, my turtles. What can the turtles expect in April? Okay. We'll take this card. We have the Desert. Oh my gosh. 37. One more card for group 3, please, Spirit. One more card for group 3. Okay, we have the Mask, which is the number 61. Okay, so those numbers could be significant. I don't know about the lotto. I'm so sorry. I don't think these numbers will help you win the lotto, but they do seem to have some sort of connection to what you can expect to experience in April. With the Vow at the back of the deck, we also have the number 54. Now, this card helps connect all the cards to a common theme. So it's telling me that in April, a common theme for you that you will find in a lot of your experiences is about changing your commitments, changing your priorities, and reconsidering the ways in which you invest time, effort, money. I think you guys do need to reevaluate some of the commitments you've already made in your life, and you do need to rethink how the people around you are shaping your goals, your ideals, your future, because you're being very strongly influenced by somebody else's lack of aspirations. It feels like someone around you doesn't have strong aspirations. They just want to kind of go to work, get paid, go home. And look, I'm just going to have to explain my bias real quick. I have a Capricorn stellium. I really love working. I love making purpose out of work. I love feeling like my work is fulfilling, which is why I got into this in the first place. But I appreciate that that's not everybody's version of life. Work just pays the bills. But this is the type of person that doesn't even have aspirations in other things. They don't have anything that they are seeking to get improvements from, that they are seeking to grow from. Even their interests remain the same and fairly neutral. There's no building There's no growth. There's no desire for more. And that seems to be rubbing off on you in April. You seem to be wondering, well, where does that put me? If you think like that, how do you think of me? Why did you choose me? Why are you my friend? Why are you my partner for some of you? It just makes you wonder, how is this actually affecting me? Should I want more for myself? How much of this is rubbing off on me? Now, outside of that very specific prediction, the vow is ultimately about finding peace when it comes to the decisions you've made and the decisions you need to make. If you aren't feeling at peace with those decisions, April is the month that you start to look at them again and go, okay, I need to make some changes. In order to feel more at peace, I need to make some changes. So with the mystic here, what we're seeing is a key theme of you trying to look back to the past in order to get a better understanding of the future. And when I see this, it makes me think that you're looking for patterns. You're looking for cycles and trends that you can use to predict how your future is going to play out. There seems to be a lot of uncertainty. And if you think too big, you get anxious, like all of us. If you look at the world and what's happening on a global scale, there's a lot of unknowns, and that could make anyone anxious. But if you look at yourself, if you look at your life, your past, for trends and patterns, you're going to notice that, yes, there are certain patterns unfolding right now. Some of them are exactly what you want. Others are what you said you didn't want. So there's a lot of, I want to say, reflecting this month. For the other group, it felt more like retrospecting. But I think that this is a very natural way to approach April, because April represents the second quarter of the year, but it also represents that turnover of energy into Aries energy, where we are going through a new energetic year. January marks the start of our calendar year. Aries season marks the start of our energetic year. So your body, your mind, your spirit is recalibrating and recognizing that you're in a new era. But as you enter this new era, you want to try to think about, well, what am I bringing with me from my past? What is helpful? What is unhelpful? What can I use as wisdom to help navigate the unknown that surrounds me? It's very powerful stuff. And I do want to say that this theme is about reflecting. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's like something that's hard to get definite answers on. There's no test here. Does that make sense? If you were going to be graded on this, you would pass just for doing it. It's that kind of thing. It's hard to quantify. The fact that you're doing it means that you're successful. And if you weren't going to do it, if you weren't going to reflect, then it would be obvious and you would feel less successful. So I do see the mystic as a sign that really what's happening here is a good chance for you to recognize patterns, for you to use your past as a tool to figure out where you're at now and what's going on, and is there anything familiar, and just to kind of help you feel a little bit more aware of what's happening in your life. Like I said, there's a lot of unknowns in the world, so if you think too big, it's scary. But if you just focus on your life, it helps you feel a little bit more certain. Now, this process of reflecting is part of what makes you feel extra sensitive right now. Your energy in April feels rather vulnerable. And this is also what I'm picking up on over here with the desert. This is a theme that talks about coming out of a place of lack. The desert is a very specific environment to be in. It serves a specific purpose. And if you're not prepared, if you're not used to these conditions, you could feel very neglected, very abandoned, very much in a survival mode. But to me, this card represents reduction and feeling like your life is being stripped away so that you can focus on the core meanings, the core importance. So I see the desert reversed as a sign that your life is improving in April. Some of the things that you've felt stripped of are going to start to rebuild, and you get to layer them back on if you want to. But you do need to consider how to rebuild your life. What do you need in your life right now? Because you don't need everything that was stripped away. And really what's being shown to me is like a desert island where there's only food and water for when you're hungry and thirsty. And so when you would arrive at this island, it would feel like there was nothing. There was no signs of life. All the water was salty. All the earth was sandy. And you were thinking to yourself, my gosh, how am I supposed to survive this? There's nothing here for me. And then when the moment came and you were thirsty, it started to rain. And you thought, no way, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, how do I save it? There was nothing to store the water. You just had to enjoy the rain while it lasted. And it lasted long enough so that you weren't thirsty anymore. But you thought to yourself, what about next time I get thirsty? And then you started to feel hungry and you thought, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do when I'm hungry? And then you're sitting there in the water and a fish swam into your hands. And you thought, how am I supposed to cook this? What am I supposed to do with it? So it's the kind of situation where you're given what you need, but not what you want. And April feels very much like that. If you focus on what you don't have, you're still going to feel like you're in the desert. You're still going to feel like you're not being told everything, like you don't have everything. But being in this situation in life is not about surplus. That's a false sense of security. This is a true test of faith, and it is a very strong sign of like vulnerability. It humbles us, reminds us that although we possess divine qualities, we are limited to our 3D experience. There are some things we simply do not have control over. So in April, you're being tested to focus on what you have, while also being very aware of what you're lacking. And this could be drummed into you by your environment, just like the desert. You might feel like, geez, it's a really hot day. I wish I had shelter. But do you need shelter? Are you taken care of in that respect? It could be that you're watching the news and they're drumming into you the fear of what's happening overseas and how it's impacting your local economy. And you could think, geez, I really wish I had more fuel. I wish I had more food. I wish I was more prepared. I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. But do you need to? Or do you actually have everything you need at this moment in time? So there's a strong test of faith here, and you're being protected from the responsibility, from the burden of having more, of knowing more. The effects of stripping away surplus is to reduce your level of burden, of responsibility, so that you can simply focus on what you do have, on what you do know. And your free energy can be focused on your well-being. So what I'm seeing over here with the mask is a theme of trying to figure out how much to share versus how much to contain when it comes to your emotions, when it comes to your thoughts, your feelings. For some of you, you have a public platform and you're trying to figure out, well, how much do I use that? How much do I share on that platform? How much do I reveal? And for others of you, this is just within your local community, your small group of friends, family. And that may not be a small group at all. Some of you have big groups of friends and family. But you're still trying to figure out in that community, well, what do I share about my fears, my thoughts, my feelings? I want to say with the mask, you're more likely to suppress what you really think and feel in April, to be there for a loved one. You guys seem to be going through something that you're not able to clearly express because somebody else needs you to be strong for them. They need you to show up for them. And this could come down to, like I said, your community of followers, a career path that you've chosen that requires you to wear a mask and to be professional and to not offload onto clients, but you still need your outlets. You still need your support network. And Spirit's reminding you that you do have everything you need. So when you feel like you need to contain, make sure you also look to people to release, to express, and to process what you've been going through. Like I said in the beginning, you're a very sensitive soul, and some things are really bothering you this month. Let's get some tarot to clarify some things. I'm going to push this up here. We're going to get some specific predictions now with tarot. I'll be using the Hermetic Tarot deck for this. Spirit, what can Group 3 expect in April? What can Group 3 expect in April? We have the Ten of Swords. Wow. Enough is enough. Can we clarify the Desert card? The Hermit. So many revelations. This is a very common thread in the collective at the moment, though. There's a lot of information coming our way, and we really need to process it and reflect on how it affects us, our life, our choices, our values, etc. Clarify the mask, please, Spirit. Okay, I'm going to go with the Star card here. At the back of the deck is, wow, Princess of Cups. So just as I explained with the Vow card, this card at the back of the deck contains the kind of linking energy to each of these cards and to each of these predictions. I want to say that the Princess of Cups means that, I want to say February for some reason, but maybe this has been happening since February. April seems to hold a strong sense of taking yourself more seriously, taking your feelings more seriously, taking your communication and how you choose to communicate your feelings more seriously. It's also my classic no more Mr. Nice Guy card. No more people pleasing. No more, masking how you truly feel because it's not socially appropriate, because your parents told you to just bear a grin while you're going through hell. This is very much about expressing from the heart, not because you're a bad person, but because you're being honest. And honestly, like with the Princess of Cups here, something has to give. Your mask is something that you've been wearing for a bit too long, Group 3. This is a situation you've been in for a little bit too long. So April is a wonderful chance for you to be more honest about how you feel, for you to be more expressive, and for you to make meaningful connections with people through small conversations. I do see the Princess of Cups as small talk, as friendly talk, and as also flirty talk, if that's the case. But in this situation, every conversation you have could be meaningful. And every conversation you have is an opportunity for you to decide like how much you want to be in that conversation. You can say, no, I don't want to hear about the war right now. I'm having a crazy week. My family's going through it. I just need to focus on them. Doesn't mean you're insensitive. It means you're asserting personal boundaries. You can say, actually, we should be talking about it more. This concerns all of us. Again, you're not being insensitive. You're communicating a personal interest. Whatever it is, take your feelings seriously and find a way to express them clearly. With the Ten of Swords, the Page of Cups reverse relates to this energy by encouraging you to see your life right now as a chapter that is ending. There's something happening here with the mystic where you are looking back, reflecting in order to end a difficult cycle in your life once and for all. I see the Ten of Swords as the end of pain, the end of betrayal, the end of feeling cheated, feeling lied to, and the chance to see something for what it truly is. In this deck, the Ten of Swords is represented by the Sun and Gemini, which could be significant. So my prediction for you is that in April, you're going to see something that has already happened, either through reflecting on it or through talking about it with someone else. And you're going to see it for what it is this time. You've known it for a while now, but this is the first time you're confronting it for what it is. You're talking about it and naming it for what it is. It wasn't just a difficult chapter in your life, it was a betrayal. Somebody broke your trust. That's why it's so hard for you to move on. That's why it's been so hard for you to break this cycle. And that's why you feel the way that you do. By naming it, you're validating it, and you're ending that cycle. Whatever it is, the best way that you've been coping is by, I want to say, either minimizing it or by trying not to make a big deal out of it. By trying not to make it something too big because there's so much going on. You haven't had the capacity to see this for what it is, but someone's coming to you with information that you can't dispute. So in April, you're going to be saying, wow, it is what it is. And I am a survivor. And I'm not going through that again. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to protect myself, and I'm not going to allow that to happen to me again. So this is very empowering. And whoever tells you this, I feel like you can trust the source here. But it does almost feel like gossiping, or it feels like you're getting the information through a secondary source, through somebody who heard something from someone else, you know, that kind of like hearsay, that kind of gossip, that kind of like Chinese whispers. Why do we call it that, by the way? That feels very offensive to say out loud on the internet. But I'm sure we all played that game. Crazy. Just an example, but I apologize if I offended anybody. So it just feels like something that's just become through different, it's moved, like the information's moved through different sources before it's reached your ears, your awareness. But that doesn't mean it's not valuable. Spirit's saying this is a good chance for you to just end it once and for all and do what is best for you. Look at the sun at the top there. Prioritize what is best for you. You're allowed to feel hurt, but don't allow it to happen again. Oof. There's some tough messages right there. You have a masculine energy that just really wants to protect you, that wants you to like speak your truth. There's like this strong feeling of like, just say it with your chest. It's like, it's no bullshit anymore. Where it's time to protect yourself. It's time to really look after yourself. And I think that's because you're extra sensitive in April. You're in a emotionally and energetically sensitive space, and if you have psychic abilities, they're very sensitive in April. So you have these masculine energies that are trying to protect you on the metaphysical plane. They're trying to make sure that you're embracing clarity as an opportunity to feel more protected and supported. So the Hermit card over here is bringing you more of that sort of reflection that we saw in the Mystic. But just look at the subtitle on that card. It says Magus of the Voice of Light. So I want to say that in April, you are the person, the oracle, the one who can make something out of the situation that you're in. You just need to trust yourself. You need to trust the process. And you need to rely on what you have. Remember, this card talked about having everything you need while also being aware of what you lack because of your environment. because of what surrounds you, because of what's happening around you. So the Hermit card is saying, like, in this situation, you need to trust your instincts. You need to trust your wisdom. You are the oracle in your life, and you do have everything you need. The situation is going to develop slowly. The best thing you can do is just stay calm in April. When it feels like things are happening rapidly around you, just try your best to stay grounded. This Hermit energy is also about spending valuable time alone to process, to reflect, to retrospect. With this Hermit card, you may need to make some important decisions about your lifestyle that impact your health, your well-being, and that could also impact how much time you spend with other people. So I see the Hermit card as a chance for you to have quiet deliberation in solitude, to be alone, away from distractions before you make that decision. So that whatever the decision is, you're at peace with it. Remember, that was the overarching theme up here. You've got to make some big choices about your life, your lifestyle, your health, but you just need to be at peace with it. So I do see you spending more time alone. Even the Star card talks about you being isolated or just feeling like you're not as immersed in the community, your community, as you could be. But the Star also confirms that for a lot of you, you are somebody that people follow or look up to, either through an internet platform or just within your community. People look up to you. So in April, you've really got to find your own voice again. You've really got to ground yourself. Don't let anxiety get the best of you. Don't let your fears get the best of you. But I also encourage you to validate how you are feeling, because your sensitivities towards humanity, towards what's happening in your life in the larger scale of the world, it's all there to serve your purpose in this lifetime. Spirit's saying you were given a voice for a reason, and people do look to you for hope, for aspiration. They look to you as a point of reference, as something to aspire towards, whether it's because of who you are, because you're somewhat of a celebrity or an idol, or it's because of the messages you share in public spaces. You have a way of instilling hope and positivity while also being incredibly, beautiful to witness. There's something very ethereal about the way that you connect with other people that feels intentional and important. And I feel like in April, it's really important that you occupy space. Online, in real life, occupy space. Take up space. Be loud, be proud. You are important. So as much as you are in this space of trying to express yourself while also trying to contain certain fears and feelings, I feel like the Star with the mask is about finding your voice, finding that balance between I'm afraid, but I'm here for a reason, and I'm not going to allow other people to feel my fear, because that's going to create a community of fearful people. So there seems to be a reason why you would contain some of the heavier emotions you're feeling, and that would be to ensure that you are a light, that you are raising the right aspirations, and that you are contributing the right energy to the collective. You can do that with realism and in respect to being yourself with this Star card. You don't have to pretend to be somebody you're not. You don't have to pretend to do what everybody else is doing, but you do seem to be sharing what you have to say and your skills or your talent with the intention of making the world a better place. So that seems to be very important. A specific prediction I'm seeing is people recognizing how unique you are and people finding a weird comfort in your realism. There's something so powerful about being yourself and showing up as yourself. Like, there's something so liberating to see that, let alone to be that way. You're going to feel very grateful that you have the chance to do that, and other people are going to feel very grateful that they got to witness that. So it's a mutually gratifying experience that just has such a positive effect on anyone involved. It's not just fickle. It may seem silly as a thought, but when it happens, it feels like a miracle. Does that make sense? Very bizarre message coming through. I'm seeing lots of cameras, lots of flashing lights. You guys may have a big event this month that includes being in front of pictures, being in front of, what's the other P word, paparazzi. But I also think that it's important for you to capture the moments you want to remember this month. Take photos of the things that you want to remember for whatever reason. If it strikes a chord, if it feels like it's resonating with you on some deeper level, it's not corny, it's not cheesy. We're only here for an undisclosed amount of time. Take a photo, record it, write it down, paint it, write a song about it if that's your, what's the word I'm looking for? Medium. That seems like a powerful way of being able to connect and process this turtle energy, this sensitive energy. Is there anything else they need to know? Virgo and Aquarius, very significant down here, as well as the number 9 and 17. We already talked about the number 10. I do want to explain some of the symbols on these cards in case they do hold further affirmation for you. So we have Virgo, Mercury. Over here, we have Mars, Venus, the Sun, Jupiter, Saturn, the Moon, and more Mercury. And if you see this symbol, that's the author's signature, the Hermetic Tarot deck signature, Godfrey Dowson's signature. That is the message I have for you, Group 1. I'm going to leave your YouTube reading there, and we are going to go into the extended now. So in your extended reading, we're focusing more on what you can expect in love in April. If you want those messages, that's a wonderful way of supporting what I do here. Head to the link in the description box and make sure you click on Group 3. When you click that link, it'll take you to a page on my website. If you don't see your reading there, it's important that you either open that link in a separate browser, or you may need to refresh your Cake and Cookies, because I'm constantly updating that page, and some devices store data instead of showing you the most updated, the most current data. They'll take you to the version of the website that existed the last time you were there. So if you don't see your reading at first, you may need to do those things, and you should see it straight away. Otherwise, sweet soul, if you're not able to join me in the extended, and if this is where we are parting ways, thank you so much for all your time, your energy, and your support right here on YouTube. I appreciate this exchange. I appreciate taking up any part of your journey, and I hope I was able to show up for you and give you clarity and confirmation about what you can expect next month. Until we meet again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye.